Hey everybody, today we are going to interview a person with around 7 years of experience in Core Java, Spring Boot, microservices, and a bit of MongoDB. So let's get started.
Uh-huh. So about me, I'm mostly developer in the backend field. So I work mostly in Java for a couple of years as of now. And but recently I had a project where I was involved in the Node.js technology. And yes, mostly I'm focused on the Java and the backend, but I also like to do some infrastructure things, and from time to time, just to refresh my mind, do something on the front end side with the React recently.
Okay.
Yeah, and what I'm looking for is maybe to have some big hands-on experience with and practice with cloud infrastructure. Actually, I would like to, not only code the backend applications, as they are mostly CRUDs. So this may be boring for a longer time, but I would like also to get bigger experience with AWS, especially, and Kubernetes.
Okay.
I have
Okay.
already
That
some
that's
experience
that's
with
that's
this.
pretty nice to hear. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
as I see in your resume, I see that you predominantly work with Java 8, Stream, Spring Boot, as well as MongoDB.
Yeah.
So in this interview
Exactly.
today, so I'm going to concentrate on those three lines. Okay. So I'm just
Okay.
setting a
Okay.
path for us. So,
Understood.
what are the things that you've been doing with respect to Java 8? So, what are the features that you've been?
Mo- Mostly these are the Stream API, Lambda syntax. What else? I think this is these are the most that I commonly use from the 8th version. Yeah, would you like to hear something in depth about this? Or
So, yeah. So, what specific versions or like what are the specific features that you've used so far with respect to Java 8 or any newer versions as we've come across?
so yeah, so for the 8th version, I used recently, and not recently, for a couple of years already, the Stream API feature. This is about doing some routings, filterings, and all of the processes that you customly prepare on the streams. And the streams are the new classes in Java 8. And also I used a lot of Lambda syntax.
Mm-hmm.
And this is about just, let's say, making your code cleaner and in the functional approach rather than procedural. Yeah, what else? Yeah, these are the two the mostly common used the features by me from the 8th version. From the 11th version, I didn't use it on production, but I am up to date with the 11th version. So from this, I really like the modularity and making the variables less strict about what type is what types they refer. So these are the two another features from the 11th version.
Okay. Okay. So, a basic question to get started. So, what is the use of like functional interfaces?
What is the use?
Yeah.
You mean yeah, you can use it, for example, in the Stream API, or define the Lambda on basing on them. So they are always the base for the Lambda function.
Okay. Okay. So, have you used both Stream as well as Parallel Stream?
No, parallel stream I didn't use, but I know they are there.
So, what is the difference? Can you at least let us know on what's the
Yeah,
difference
so
between the two? Yeah.
Yeah. So the first one is sequentially just if you have 100 elements on the stream, then you have to wait 100, let's say, unit of time to get the result. And in parallel, they are the stream elements are how to say that, split into the bulks parallelly. So at the end, you will get the you will get also the 100 elements, but a bit quicker.
Okay, so I just want to like see a bit of coding before we go into Spring Boot and microservices. So if you do not mind, could you just share your screen and open any IDE or a notepad if you don't mind?
Let's see. Yeah, sure. Let's see. See if I have something. The notepad will be enough.
Notepad or even IntelliJ will be easier for you in case I ask some syntactical
Okay.
questions.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. I guess.
Yeah, I am able to see your screen.
Great.
Okay, so the requirement is going to be very very simple, just to see or like to get started on how you iterate through basic lists or something like that. Not any high funda data structures or algorithms. I just want to just see your hands-on experience. So for a start, so can you create a class, say vehicle, and create two variables related to that? Say color and ID or something like that.
The color, can it be like a string, or should I go with
Anything. So anything. I just want to create a set of vehicles and add it to an array list and iterate through it and print its ID. That's it. So you can just create something like color and say ID. Okay, ID or age
like
of the vehicle. Age of the vehicle should be fine. Yeah,
age
Just put age of the vehicle. Something like that.
without
Yeah,
the ID or after?
yeah. Another one as well. Yeah, should be fine.
Let's
Yeah.
say age.
Perfect. So in your main method, I just want you to create a list of vehicle objects.
Okay.
Perfect.
And I should something to add there. It's maybe not beautiful, but I won't add any Lombok or something. Just
Just a simple getter or setter should be fine.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
Not required for a Lombok. Yeah,
Okay.
I understand. I just want to see your hands-on experience so far. That's it.
Okay. I will do it this way. Set ID.
Is it possible for you to set it using a constructor? That will make it a little cleaner, I guess. Yeah.
Color like a red. And the next one is let's say, and the age will be like 2 years. Just to have different colors. And you would like me to iterate of the list and print
I want you to do two things. Okay, so let me be clear on this. So just a simple for each loop and print out vehicles or IDs of the vehicles which have an age greater than or equal to 3.
Okay. You would like me to do this with stream or?
Yeah, stream should be okay. Stream should be okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I would firstly filter out this which are the age should be 3, right? You would like to just see the 3 years old cars.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the vehicle, and we are looking for the vehicle. And age is in, so let's say like that. in the print, the ID or the color? What?
Print the vehicle ID.
Vehicle ID. Okay. So I would go with this, and once again vehicle. I will get ID and printed. Whoa, sorry. Wait. Let's do this. Ah, this is ID. I will run it.
Mm-hmm. So we should be getting only 2 and 3.
2 and 3, yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. That's nice to see. So we've got a first output. So, so on a similar note, I just want you to do something similar, but
Okay.
here I want you to create a map, okay, and add a key and value. Say like, so you can map ID and the vehicle. Okay, so map ID to the vehicle object. So similar to adding to a list, you just need to pair 3 values of the list of the vehicle set.
Sure.
I guess you've understood the problem.
So you don't want to, okay. You would like me to group it for sure, right? You want to do this with streams.
You can do that like that, or a simple map also should be fine. Just show me both approaches.
Okay, cool. Let's do this. Let's put the, so there will be 3 of them. Like that. I will copy them. This is green, blue, and this were free. Okay. This is, was it? Yeah. Okay, so this is the first one. And the second approach, I think I have to like collect them. This guy. And we are going to group by ID. Yeah. Introduced vehicle map, and this is awful, but just let me do.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
So
That's fine. So
would you like me to
a small catch here. Just try to, on a similar way as we filtered value which is equal to 3. So can you filter and print out IDs which have an age which are less than 3?
From this map, you mean?
Exactly.
So I need.
If you're done with this, we can go into the next section. You're doing pretty good so far. Yeah.
Good to hear that. I am just stuck right now. So I collected them and I have the map. So I cannot. Yeah, okay. The same task, right? Just to print out.
But this time it's less than 3, just for a
less than 3
use case base. Yeah.
Okay. And this will be different here. We'll need set, it will be entry set. We're filtering all of the entries. Okay, let's call it like that. And where the age get value, get oh yeah, right, we have the lists. Let's go this way. Not, we can map it. We can map it. So now we will have vehicles, or we can even do this. Oh,
So as you write it out, what's the difference between a map and a flat map?
So you are just operating over the, let's say, matrix, so the stream of streams, and I am just flattening this matrix to the single stream sequential elements. And this is why I just wanted to simplify the vehicle list. So now I'm operating on the single vehicle, and I am checking if that's like that, right? And yeah, I will get from the should work, I guess. I hope.
There's a very simple approach to this, yeah. But you've taken the stream approach. That's fine. That's fine. We can go ahead. Yeah.
You expected something else.
So can you remove the other print statements which are not needed? So line number. So comment line number 9. Yeah, just comment that. Just comment that. Perfect.
Sure,
can you run it now? Yeah.
So it's one, right? I put the just you know, just to be ID was the same all the time. Okay,
got it.
Looks good.
That's nice. So I guess we are done with. So this is pretty much what I wanted to check with respect to streams and filters. So we've covered like stuff like stream, map, and flat map. So also like the for each part. Okay. So then now can we go into the Spring Boot part?
Yeah, sure.
So
would you
what
like
are
to open the IntelliJ or?
No, this is going to be like theoretical questions now. So I'm just going to ask you on what are the things. So for a start, so what exactly is Spring Boot and why is it needed?
So generally, this project was introduced to speed up the process of building the applications. So every common thing that you need to set up in the Spring application in the past was, like, you know, redundant. So every application had the configuration and the main and the configuration for the data source, etc. And the Spring Boot is solving this by auto configurators. So Spring Boot has a lot of the components. They are prepared by the community and also the private companies. You can just add, if you use Maven, you can add in the POM the dependency to the starters, for example, for ActiveMQ, and you are mostly configured to use the ActiveMQ with your application.
Okay. So any inputs on what kind of annotations you've used? So any minor configurations that you've done while using a Spring Boot application. So how do you configure an application to be a REST web service?
Sorry, to be what?
A REST web service, a web service. So how do you?
Yeah. Sure. So apart from all of the Spring Boot application you had to have the Spring Boot application running, you will need the, let's say, class with I think it was REST controller annotation. And this will give you the controller in Web MVC. There are also some additional annotations for the methods. For example, if you would like to have the get endpoint, you can put the get mapping annotation, and there are the parameters like the path and what it produces, what it consumes, what kind of MIME type, what's the body, what's the request.
So what is the request type that you would use if you want to perform an update?
So if I would like to perform updates, the partial or just the replace, you mean?
No, like, so what are the operations you know about in using a REST web service? So what are the operations that you can do?
So we have the get, post, delete, put options.
Perfect. So in these things, so which one would you use for an update?
So the update would be, it's about, okay. I would think about post or put.
Okay,
And
so difference between post and put?
Yeah, they are, it's about independency, right? So I never remember which one to use for that.
No, just a basic difference. Post is like to create and put is to update. So I was expecting that answer. So that's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, so let me go into microservices. So what are the things that you've used with respect to microservices? So any inputs with respect to Spring Cloud?
Yes, so I used the Spring Cloud. It was the gateway and the config especially. We had also some Hystrix components.
Okay.
Yes, mostly that. We had also some components for logging and monitoring in the background. It was based on Zipkin.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if it's part of the.
That's fine. So what exactly is Eureka used for?
So Eureka is used for service discovery. So if you are starting up the instance, then this instance has in his config the information about the, let's say, service, which is keeping all of the information about the instances running. He's registering during the startup, so you can do a lot of things about after you are registered. You can pull the configs, you can use it for even routing, so you can call different components with that.
I get it. Okay, so you've spoken about Eureka. So have you used something called as an API gateway, or like have you configured anything related to security, something like authentication and authorization, or anything on those lines?
Yeah, so I used this API gateway based on Zool, and later on I used this cloud gateway, which is I think it's no longer using the Netflix Zool. It's most likely based on Webflux and this paradigm. And about the security, yeah, I was involved in a couple of tasks about the authentication, authorization. with for example
go ahead.
With for example JWT token in microservices.
Okay. So gateway. So you said you worked on gateway. So what are the things that can be done apart from security? Is there any other thing that you've accomplished apart from authentication using a gateway?
Yeah. So gateway. I think the main thing that gateways does, it's you can prepare the routing, and this is the big tool for that. You can just grab a path and route it to the specific service. For example, if you use Kubernetes, you can route to the specific service and choose the component you would like. for example, on the path /A goes to the A component and /B goes to the B component.
And any idea on how would you call a particular microservice from another microservice? Have you done that?
Yeah. So I would use the REST template. I mean, if we are talking about the REST communication, so synchronous, we can do that also asynchronously, but it's not something you are asking for, right?
That's okay. So that's fine. So I guess so you're pretty good with Java, Spring Boot, as well as microservices. So what are the things that you say that you are confident on apart from these things? You have experience with Kafka or MongoDB?
I have experience with MongoDB on production and not with Kafka. I just use it on my classes course during my studies. And,
Any idea on what
I
is it used for? What is Kafka used for?
Kafka?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Kafka is, I guess Kafka is whole system around the message brokering, messaging, right? And just from this, what I heard, it's very good for the systems where the messages are small, but they are a lot of it, a lot of them, like 100K on per second or something like that. So it's really, this has good performance. Yeah, and comparing it to what I used, so JMS, it's mostly about publish, subscribe. So this would be the topic in JMS rather than Q. Yeah, so this is.
That's fine. Okay, since you've not worked much on Kafka, I'll give it a pause. So so let's go into MongoDB. So what are the things that you're confident? So what is actually MongoDB used for? Why was the need for MongoDB when there was RDBMS?
So the need for so it is used for sure for prototyping. So if you want to start really quick the project, and they at the beginning there will be very often there will be change in the schema. Then you can use the Mongo because it does not require you to define the schema at all. And comparing to relational databases, this is the first thing you will see is different structure of the content. So the document is is described by the JSON-like structure, and not the rows and tables. What else? You can, of course, define the schema for validation. So at the later stage of the project, if you already have a lot of the requirements from the business, that there should be something like ID should be between 1 and 100.
So you have used schemas as well?
No, I didn't define the schema.
Okay.
In this project.
That's fine. That's fine. So can you explain about sharding in MongoDB? Have you?
Yeah, so in this project we were using the managed instance, but sharding is it's like a partitioning the, let's say, collections, right? So you have the collection in MongoDB, and if you would like to have, because the computers are the machines are like physical, right? So you can just keep specific amount of data in one machine. So sharding was introduced for that. So you can split the data on a couple of servers, so that, for example, the first 1,000 of documents from this collection will be on server A, and the second 1,000 will be on B, etc.
So how is it different from a replica set?
So replica set is for making this data safe, actually. So this gives you this gives you the you won't lose the data, right?
So any inputs on how a replication action works in MongoDB? So how does it work? You've explained about sharding. So you partition the amount of data either using horizontal or vertical scaling. So, but can you explain about how replication works in MongoDB?
Replicate. So I'm not that much into the details, but I guess it is like you have like, for example, 3 nodes in this replica set, so 3 replicas, and there will be one primary node that gets all of the, let's say, all of the reads and writes, and there can be only one primary node at the time, but there are the secondary nodes running in the backend, in the background, and they are communicating between them so that they can replicate the data, and they are updating. I think it's asynchronous in the background. So if the primary will be down because of something, then the next primary will be like elected. For me, it's quite similar to Kubernetes replicas.
That's fine. I get it. So, okay. So we've covered MongoDB as well. So how will you create a collection in MongoDB, and how will you use a database?
So you mean with just shell or Java?
Anything goes with shell.
So with shell, it's easy. You can just insert one document into the collection, and it will be prepared for you.
Okay, so db.create collection, right?
For example, yeah. Or you can just db and collection name you would like to use, and insert, and then JSON, and I think it will be also.
Okay.
Because I think you don't need to specifically create the collection, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so I guess I'm done with most of the questions. To go to the threading side, so what features have you used with respect to threading? So have you used Runnable, or how do you create a thread in Java? So for a start.
So in Java you can do it like in very painful way. So just prepare the thread implementation. But recently I'm just using the executors. So everything would execute. This executor service was the implementation, I guess. So there are the methods prepared for you that. I mean, first you have to prepare the thread pool, etc. But then you can just use, just submit the task there and expect, for example, the completable future. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but yeah, you can expect the result. For example, you can wait for it, for example, 10 seconds. If not, there you will get exception that there is a timeout, and you can handle this. Yeah. So depending on this thread pool you are running, for example, in 5 or 10 threads as you configure it. So this is mostly what I used from the concurrent recently.
Okay. So with respect to futures, so how do you get the value from a future? So how do you ensure that you're able to access the value after the operation or the thread cycle completes?
Yeah. So there are a couple of ways. So the first one is that why I mentioned that you can wait for 10 seconds. So there is a method .get, and you are getting something, and the second parameter or first parameter is how many seconds, minutes, or any other unit of time you will wait. And there is also another way. Just you can do the completable future .get, and this is a blocking way, so you will wait infinitely for this output. But you can also check if the future is already done with some additional methods on that. I think there was is done method for checking it, and you will get the true if it's done.
Perfect. So the last couple of questions from me. So what is a volatile keyword? with respect to both threading and Java?
Yeah, so I honestly speaking, I didn't use it for a while. I just use it on my studies.
Okay,
So
I get it.
this is for making the let's say place in memory. The every change in this place will be visible to each thread. This is what I remember about that. But yeah, I didn't have possibility to use it.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess I'm done with the set of questions.